Hello, it's Jen from Windrose Fiber Studio, and this week we're going to be making flower plushie keychains. These can be used as luggage identifiers or as ornaments on your favorite bag or backpack. I'm keeping things super casual this week, and I'm using the pattern from my most recent upload on how to crochet a flat round and turn that flat round into a flower coaster. I have that pattern linked for you in the description below, and today we're going to be using it to make these sweet little flower plushie keychains. All of the pattern information you need to crochet these shapes is in that tutorial that I have linked below, but I thought I would just go ahead and give you a quick rundown of the materials. The unique materials that you'll need are some safety eyes. I kind of went with these anime style safety eyes. And then you'll also need a keychain. I went on Amazon looking for some good options. I like ones that swivel. There are carabiner styles. Some of them don't have any length of chain on them, so you would have to add a little chain if you wanted your flower plushie to hang from a little distance. I love this classic keychain, and I couldn't find them anywhere, so maybe I just don't know the right terms to search. This is the best one I found because it has a nice clip, and then it also has a little length of chain. It comes with this added big round keychain that's easy to take off, and then it leaves you with a really nice keychain for this project. And then also you'll need a little bit of fluff or some scrap yarn to stuff your keychain. I'm going to be showing you two different versions of the plushie today. The first one has curving petals, and to make this one you will need two flat rounds, each worked up until round 7, and then a second option will be a flower plushie where the petals really hold their shape and stay more stiff. For this one you will need two complete identical flower coasters. At first, I liked the one better that holds the petal shape, but the curved petals have kind of won me over. It's also quick and easy to make, so that's where we'll start today. Once again, for the plushie version with the curved petals, you'll need two flat rounds, each worked up until round 7. For you experienced crocheters out there, it's just a classic round shape. At the end of round 7, you'll have a total of 42 stitches. Once you have your two flat rounds made, you'll need to add some eyes to the front. I'm going with 14mm eyes for this one, which are a little bit smaller. I think they look cute with bigger eyes too, so it's really a matter of taste. I like to put them just above the center, and you can decide how far apart that you like your eyes. And then you take these caps, the curved side goes over the end, and it really takes a little bit of pressure to attach these eyes. Once they're on, they are not falling off. And then you put wrong sides of your flat rounds together, and now you're ready to attach them with the petal round. I'm making this one for someone who loves orange, so I'm making my petals orange. You're going to find the top middle stitch just above the eyes, count 9 stitches to the right of that center stitch, and then join these two round shapes together with a single crochet in that 9th stitch. So we're joining with a single crochet, and then we're skipping 2 stitches and into the next stitch. Remember to go through the corresponding stitch on the other flat round. You are working a total of 7 double crochets. This will make our very first petal, and then we'll head from there into our repeating pattern. Our repeating pattern for this petal round is to skip 2 stitches and then work a single crochet in the next stitch, and then you're going to skip 2 stitches and work 7 double crochets in the next stitch. The one I'm working right now is going to be at the top center of our flower plushie. After I work this petal, I will go back to the beginning of that repeat, and I'll work almost all the way around. And when there's only a small opening left, I will use that opening to go ahead and add my filling to the plushie. And then I'll just finish off the round, join with a slip stitch to the beginning single crochet, and weave in those loose ends. Here I am continuing on with the repeating pattern, but I'm actually going to time travel to the point where we're ready to add our polyfill, stuffing, scraps of yarn, whatever you have handy that'll just give your flower plushie a little bit of shape. So here, and it really takes just the littlest bit of polyfill, and I like to tease it apart and make it nice and fluffy. And then it's always kind of fun to stuff a plushie, so you just add your filling. I'm going to use just a little bit more. And now I can go ahead and finish off this round, make my last couple of petals, and we'll be ready for finishing touches. After you finish that last petal, you just simply work a slip stitch to the first single crochet, then you can cut your working yarn, pull it through that last loop, and now there's nothing left to do but weave in these loose ends. With a snip of my scissors, I finish weaving in the beginning and ending tails, and now I'm ready to attach my keychain. To do this, I'm going to thread my needle with the color of the center of the flower. So I'm going to grab my yellow and thread my yarn needle. I just cut off about 12 to 18 inches of yarn here, and at the base of that top center petal, I'm going underneath a few threads of yellow and then through the keychain. And then I pull the yarn around without pulling it all the way through. I want to leave a little bit of a tail on the other end of the yarn because I'm going to use that to weave that tail in. And then I just continue to go back through that same space and the little jump ring on my keychain. And I do this 4 or 5 times and then give both ends a little tug and make sure I have a nice secure attachment there. Now I'm going to weave in these 2 ends and we'll be ready to admire our handiwork. So here we go, our little plushie is complete. We've got our keychain, we've got our petals, which right now are kind of holding their shape, but it is true that once you wear this around on a backpack or have it on your luggage, those petals do have a tendency to curve a little bit, but there's something about that that's kind of endearing to me. It gives it a little bit of character. That being said, if you would rather have a flower whose petals stay upright, I've got you covered. So let's go ahead and look at how we'll do that. Now, here's our sample, and this sample has 2 of the exact same flower coasters. So I didn't have 2 of the exact same flower coasters made up, so I'm just going to use these 2, just enough so you can get an idea of how you're going to assemble this, because it's really quite easy. So on the one that has the yellow center, I went ahead and gave this some eyes. To attach these 2 flowers together with the wrong sides facing each other and using the center color, in this case it's going to be the yellow, we're just going to weave the yarn in and out through that last row or round 7 on the flat round portion of the flower. So you're just going to go in and out, back and forth through that last round. When you make your way almost all the way around, you'll add your filling or your stuffing, and then you'll go ahead and close that part of the flower. Next, you'll take the color of the petal and you'll do the same thing for the petals. You'll just weave back and forth through the stitches of the petal round all the way around the flower. So this is a two-part process. First, you weave in and out of those stitches around the center of the flower, and then second, you weave through those stitches around the petal round. Having 2 layers of flower is what really gives those petals their stability. So that's all there is to it. I'm really curious to know which version you like best. I just came back from a weekend away traveling with my husband and my son, and we had 3 new black small carry-ons, and so I whipped these up the night before we left just so it would be really easy to spot our bags. It was so fun to see these little flowers dangling from our carry-ons throughout our travels. I made a second pink one for my backpack just because it's cute. I hope you enjoyed today's video. I post every week. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.